Alright, hello, everyone. And welcome to Bodied, a Cloud9 Fancast. Tonight, we shall discuss some exciting things that happened over the holidays, as well as some stuff that happened more recently. I'm your host, Havokpus. I'm joined by our favorite horse, Pie Magic Man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well, Havokpus, and alongside us we also have no one. It's just us. It's just us.
How was your break? Did you have a good break?
I had I have work, so break is about an extra day on a weekend, but it was a very good extra day.
Okay, well, extra days, those are good. Mine was alright. I got a bunch of comic books. I read a lot of them already. So that's good.
I mean, that's what you do with comic books, so, good on you.
Yeah, you just gotta read them. So, let's get into the details here. So our first story happened after we actually went on the break. We maybe should have covered this as it was happening, but it was the holidays. Anyway, but this is a pretty big story, so we should probably get on it. The Vainglory team has I don't know. I don't know why I'm so scatterbrained. It's been a couple of weeks, folks. I'm sorry. The Vainglory team participated in the World Championship over December, and they had a pretty great performance. 4-0 in groups against Pain and Elite 8. Elite 8 is from Indonesia. And in the quarterfinals, they played against Hunters, which was the Chinese team, and they 3-0'd them. It was an absolute slaughter. It was devastation. Sadly, Cloud9 hit their first hiccup. Well, their only hiccup, really. But that was against Tribes, who we've had problems with them in the winter season. Tribes actually went on to win the whole tournament, so, naturally we would lose to them. But we lost 1-3, but we came back fighting in the third place match. We stomped Impunity, didn't let the loss phase us, and we got third place. Top 3 in the world of Vainglory. It feels good. Did you catch the games at all, Pi, when they occurred?
I did not, but that is extremely impressive to go through an entire world championship and only lose 3 games while still winning. What? Let me do the math real quick.
Yeah, do those quick maths.
Alright, so then they won 11 games and lost 3 and still only get third place.
Yeah, I'm mostly impressed by just how dominant they were. I mean, outside of the Tribes game, they didn't drop a single game in a series. They looked unstoppable, and I think if we had gotten whoever Tribes played in the semifinals instead, we probably would have went on to the finals and probably went away with second. So it's pretty great, and I mean, just evaluating Vainglory's year, 2 back-to-back North American championships, top 3 at Worlds. That's incredible, and I hate to say that I'm looking forward to this year, but the future might be in jeopardy because there were some tweets made out by the players saying that, I'm bummed that I won't be able to get to play with these guys anymore and stuff like that. And Vainglory is also moving towards a 5v5 mode as their main competitive game instead of 3v3, which I'm actually kind of against, but that's a whole nother rant. So we may not actually get to see this 3-man squad anymore, and that's really bumming me out because we did so well, and the team had such a great run, and it just kind of cut short due to whatever. It makes me sad.
Yeah, it was really exciting to watch them play. They had some extremely dominating games, and I kind of agree with your point on the 5v5. I know that's what the other MOBAs do, but I feel like Vainglory being a mobile game MOBA that They need something to differentiate themselves a little bit more. Otherwise, going to 5v5 will make it seem more like a watered down version of other ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I thought that the 3v3 aspect made it, it catered to the kind of mobile device, technology, as well as it just separated itself out from every other MOBA, because every other MOBA is just 5v5, and it honestly seems kind of like a stale concept now. With 3v3, it was really interesting because it was just one big long lane, and then there was a big jungle, and it was all about controlling the jungle. It was all about fighting in the jungle. There wasn't all this crap about macro play and lane swapping and all this other crazy complicated stuff that you see in 5v5 MOBAs, and it was just about pure skill. And I think that's what I really enjoyed by watching it.
There was the macro aspect involved. It was a lot about controlling the areas of map, when, where to fight. A lot more skirmishy, though, in the sense of macro, rather than controlling where minions are marching. So that's that.
Yeah. And I think that's what made it so exciting to watch, because there was always like skirmishes going on, and it wasn't like in League of Legends when the lane swap meta was a thing, where it would just be 20 minutes of teams pushing up the side lanes and training turrets and just waiting for item spikes to happen at some point. It felt like it was very dynamic, and it was just really fun to watch. I do hope that we stay in Vainglory, and I do hope we at least keep a couple of our players. I think the coach that we had at Worlds was great. He really helped bring the team back up to the level that they were at, because they slumped in the winter, and I was hearing that the casters say that, yeah, they brought on this new coach at the end of the fall season, and they really started to pick up again with him. And on stage, they're always great. So I really hope that Vainglory kind of sticks around and hangs on in the future. But moving on.
Yeah, it'd be sad to be so successful and then just drop off.
Yeah, kind of like Heroes of the Storm in a sense. Because we won the world championship, I think.
Yeah.
And then after we won the world championship, we lost the team.
Yeah, I still have my Cloud9 mount in Heroes of the Storm.
Sick. Yeah, so I just hate to do all this success and then just kind of drop it after, so soon. It just doesn't feel right for me personally. But moving on to CSGO, there was some CSGO action that happened. So first thing that happened, they played at the ECS Finals down in Mexico, and they had a really hard time. They probably had the hardest group compared to the other group. I can't remember who was in the group B, but I think we were in group A, and we had SK, Astralis, FaZe, and Liquid. And we had a rough time. We lost to Astralis, we beat Liquid, but then they had to face against FaZe in the last group stage match to advance, and they lost. And I'm not surprised by this happening, just because, one, the group is insanely hard. It has the other top 5 teams in the world all in one group basically, as well as just FaZe is incredibly strong. And I wasn't expecting us to beat FaZe, but it still hurts,
Ouch, that's savage, but yeah, I mean, I still don't know how to feel about this roster. They just go from being super insane to have you played CS before? It's frustrating to watch at this point, but that was an extremely stacked group, and we are such an inconsistent team. We're a wild card basically.
I mean, I think that we are definitely better than we were when the roster first formed, and maybe a bit before that, at the tail end of the Nothing Shroud era. I think we're definitely a bit better, but I think there's definitely still inconsistency issues. They make mistakes that, one day they'll play amazing, and you'll say, oh, this is one of the best teams in the world. They're amazing. These guys are great. And then the next day they'll make mistakes that they never made in the previous day, or they shouldn't make at all, and they still make, and you're just kind of what are you doing? Stop. And, it's kind of frustrating. I hope that with this break, they can kind of reset themselves as well as evaluate better, on strategies, on team synergy, and really just focus on the year ahead. It's a new year. I think that with time they can improve even more and maybe even beat someone like FaZe, but I think that they definitely need to really start working on those inconsistencies and start really tightening up those easily made mistakes.
Yeah, like you said, it's been kind of all quiet on the front, so I hope they're relaxing, getting in the right mindset, and practicing up a good bit, because I'm ready for some CSGO, and when do we get to watch some CSGO, Havoc?
Oh, we're gonna watch some real soon, because we have been invited for another CSGO summit, along with teams like SK Gaming, Mouse Esports, and North. So, that was only like the first invitees. I'm not sure about the latter half or whatever, but CSGO summits are always fun. I remember watching the last one that we were invited to, and it was really fun. It looked like everyone was having a really good time. There were some really good matches. And yeah, like you said, just off-season's so boring. I just want there to be... I want to see CSGO. I want to see League of Legends. I want to see Overwatch. I want to see all of our stuff and just fill my days with exciting entertainment,
What do? I come home, sit on my computer, watch some Twitch. I need something more. I need something more fulfilling. I need competition.
I know, you need excitement. You need to fill that hole, that void that you have in your life. But some other exciting news that I think no one could have predicted. Moving on to PUBG, Cloud9 has signed a Korean PUBG roster. I was as shocked as you are when I heard about this. The team consists of Deception, Miracle, Suck, I think is how you pronounce that. It's S-U-K. I'm gonna go with Suck. I apologize if that's wrong.
Could be Suck.
And
I don't know. Let me ask.
It might be Suck or Sook. I'm not sure how to pronounce that properly. And C-Rekka. And they are... I think they're still going to be in the Africa TV pilot PUBG League season. They played like their first match and they got kind of stomped. But it's really interesting because I had no expectation that C9 would do something like this. I was going off in a completely other different direction. I saw rumors that, we could get a Halo team because I think Team Liquid dropped theirs recently, or like I saw one rumor post on the sub where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this Brazilian Rainbow Six team, and we're gonna get a Rainbow Six team, and I'm like, oh, that could be interesting. But it's interesting to get a Korean PUBG team, and I actually find it interesting. The reason why is because there's like a split going on within the PUBG community between first person and third person. The western side of the world is gravitating towards first person, while the eastern side is going to third person, which is very fascinating.
I was gonna say, the thing that surprised me the most is I didn't even know PUBG was like super popular over there. Also, I have confirmation it's Suck. It's
okay. Good.
Got the confirmation on that. I consulted the board, and that's what they came back to me with.
Good investigative reporting, Pie. This is what we pay you for.
Yeah,
and by that, we don't pay you at all.
We're doing this live, but if you do want to sponsor us, I have a PayPal address I can send you.
Yes, send us Bitcoin. All the Bitcoin. But what do you think? What do you think about the PUBG roster?
I really don't know. Like I still don't know what's going on with PUBG. Maybe it'll get better now that it's officially a real game instead of something that people are playing before it's released. They got the new map.
It's certainly growing still.
Yeah, I mean, it's still one of the most popular things on Twitch. I just don't know where competitive's going. I think it's fun to watch people play. I don't know if it's just fun to watch people play or if it's just the streamers that are fun to watch have mostly migrated to it.
I actually really enjoy watching people play. I've seen C Rekka and Dingception stream before, and they're actually really good. Like at least in the vein of like just playing random matchmaking. Like I've seen them duo with each other, play as like a squad, and they're really good. Like I remember one night, C Rekka and Suck were playing, and they were like getting like multiple wins and racking up kills and stuff. And I was watching this going, wow, these guys are really good. And it also made me kind of sad considering they got stomped when they first played in that Afrika TV thing. And I'm not sure if it's because they're like a new squad or the competition in Korea is just super good and they're like kind of a mediocre team by comparison. But I'm hoping that they can bounce back in later events and stuff because just watching their streams, they're really good. Also, for anyone that is concerned about the North American teams standing and if they're getting cut or not, fear not. Chappie and the boys are still under Cloud9's lovely skies. They will actually be participating in the Ozom's PUBG tournament series. This is their second season. They were invited to be there because they were like finalists in the last season. And they're also, I think they're going to be doing PUBG Online and a bunch of other tournaments. So fear not, Cloud9 I think is just covering their bases in terms of PUBG because the community is kind of splitting. It's becoming a much popular game. And I think also just from like the global brand perspective that I keep throwing around, I think it's smart that they're starting to dip more into that as well. So I think that all things considered, I think the PUBG front is looking good. I just want to see them play more, maybe see the game improve more as well, so we can maybe get better spectating for events.
But when are we bringing in our B team of Shroud and Forsen?
Oh, that would be. Shroud is such a popular player. It kind of bums me out that he has declined to play PUBG professionally. Because I hear that he's actually like super, like crazy good at it, and it would be really interesting to see what he can do with like. Yeah, and from what I've heard, he's extremely good, and I think it'd be really interesting to see like just give him free reign of the team. Jack just goes, okay, Shroud, you can have your PUBG team, free reign, choose who you think would be best. All
right, let's see.
Do what you got to do. Let me see the results.
We get.
I think that would be. I think it would be a really interesting experiment.
You get Shroud. All right, you got to get Chad. They duo a lot. Who else? Of course, how are you gonna have a team without Banana Man? And then that one girl that he randomly duoed with. There you go. That's all the four you need.
Boom, championship squad right there. But yeah, PUBG, exciting news, still developing, but hopefully brighter things on the horizon. But let's bring it into the main event. The thing that pretty much every Cloud9 fan is a fan of, and that is League of Legends. We have League of Legends news. A few weeks ago, kind of around the holidays, Cloud9 released a very entertaining roster reveal video. It was kind of in the style of a sitcom. It was pretty funny. And it revealed the 2018 LCS and Academy roster lineups. The LCS roster was pretty much there. Everyone knew that already. But I find what's interesting is the Academy League. So they revealed that League, Wiggly, Golden Glue, Keith, and Zazel will be rounding out the Academy League squad. Blabberfish wasn't mentioned in the video, but that was because he's going to be a sub once he finishes school. Jack said that on a Reddit comment. And just today, actually, Selfie announced free agency. So that explains why he wasn't in the video. I'm not sure why Selfie left. Maybe, I've heard rumors, or I've seen people say that he has like an ego problem. Maybe he was looking for bigger offers and wanting to start on an LCS roster instead of an Academy thing. Who knows? It's kind of up in the air. We don't have access to all the information. But what do you think of this Academy team? Because I think it's actually, for like that level of play, I think this is actually pretty good.
You know, initially I'd agree, but now looking at all the academy teams coming together, and it's like 2 or 3 rookies with like 2 or 3 veterans. I have no clue what academy's all about anymore.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of getting training up rookies to get them ready for LCS, as well as taking veterans that, like Golden Glue and Keith, for example, they have a lot of LCS experience, but they weren't quite at that level to play at LCS. So I think that kind of gives players like them a second chance to kind of practice up and improve, as well as kind of be kind of like guiding hand to these rookies, like, you know, League and Wiggly and Zazel. They have stage experience. They know a lot of what it takes to play in a 5-man squad and coordinate everything. So, you know, less pressure. You know, they're in an environment where they just try to improve themselves and improve the team. And I think that can be useful, but I'm not sure how far, like, the veterans like Golden Glue and Keith will really take out of the Academy League.
See, I'm not even talking about like Golden Glue and Keith. Golden Glue's kind of been on the fringe, and I think Academy is going to be good for him to help like gain confidence and just have a stable like team to help him develop.
Yeah, because he's not getting cut after like the second game.
Yeah, and then Keith as well had a pretty shaky split, and it'll be good to just be able to like refocus on the game for him. But like Clutch got Piglet and Moon.
Yeah.
How is Piglet on an academy team?
That's the so it's very interesting when you see like Korean veterans like Piglet, for example, you know, or Impact stay in North America when they could easily go back to Korea. You know, maybe not play for like a top tier team. Like Piglet's kind of old and he's kind of fallen off in terms of skill, but you know, he could easily play for like a bottom half Korean team and, you know, start and make a bunch of money. But I think that part of it is just that American orgs pay a lot more, and the academy scene is, I think, less stressful. So he can just like dumpster on some rookie ADC who, you know, doesn't have that much experience playing against people at his level, so to speak. So, you know, he can get paid a lot. He can, you know, just destroy everyone, and then on top of that, he can probably wait out till he gets residency, and then a team will go, oh, you know, we need a good player, but we don't want to waste a roster spot on an import. Get Piglet. Piglet's good enough. Personally, I think that he might be, you know, maybe not as good, but, you know, him being a not an import anymore is certainly valuable, and I think that that's part of why as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess if you were, you know, a player who was playing and suddenly found yourself rosterless, it's better to do something than just sit around and wait for a team to pick you up.
Yeah.
There is apparently Selfie put something on Facebook about his situation with Cloud9, and that
It's in Polish though. Shout out to Emma, everyone's favorite Cloud9 Discord mod, for giving us that information.
mine is still Bizzler, so let's not speak for everyone as long as Busker's still alive. But someone translated it on Reddit, and just a rough synopsis here is that before the video released, he was told that even though they originally wanted him for their main position in the academy team, they did not anymore and wanted him to, and said that they would offer him a role of sub. He thought that would give him an opportunity to, you know, kind of fight for his position. Didn't really seem like that to him. And then there was also some contract issues
Okay.
that he had, so he decided it would be better to try and go to free agency. When he did that, there's some more contract issues in regards to his buyout from Phoenix One. And so that is why, let's see, yesterday was the first day that he was able to announce his free agency because the contract issues got tied up.
Okay. So it seemed to be mostly like a legal thing mixed with maybe
I think
him
it was
not wanting to
partially
compete
legal
as much.
with the contract things. Partially, I think Cloud9 might have reached for too many players and kind of, ended up screwing him over in the process.
Yeah.
Or a fan, like if assuming that this story is true, that his perspective is true. Not saying it is, there's both sides, but it sounds like it was just a little bit of a mess with contracts and all these people coming in for Academy.
Yeah, I think that Cloud9 maybe. It does sound like C9 also kind of went a little signing happy with their Academy stuff, which I think that from the org's point of view, you can't really blame them too much because the Academy scene is something kind of new, and they don't have a lot of experience with. So I think that they kind of wanted, Selfie is a good player and they can certainly use him. But, Golden Glue is kind of someone that you can maybe fall back on. Maybe they want to cover their bases just in case someone doesn't work out. We have limited information, so it's hard to really judge, I think. But
I also,
at least from... go ahead.
I also wonder how much they acquired both Selfie and Golden Glue to try and maybe sell one to another team who wanted an Academy or even a main mid laner. And then when that
that's also a possibility.
When that didn't work out, they kind of had to try and make something work. So it was more of a result of a business move rather than anything else.
Yeah. I know. Like traditional sports teams do that all the time. I think where they sign someone and then just kind of hold on to them to see if a team tries to buy out their contract or something, which I think is perfectly fine. That's just the business. But it seems like it doesn't seem like that bad of a situation. It's kind of a sticky situation, but it doesn't seem like anyone is truly at fault. I think it's just kind of got messy, and then Selfie kind of got the short end of the stick, if you will, short end of the Selfie stick.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel bad for Selfie for what's happening because. I mean, all these people, they just want to play the game. They just want to show everyone what they've got, and it sucks when you aren't able to do that because of something like this.
Yeah. I just hope that, he finds a team as well as the Academy team that we have is, it shapes up to be something good. Also, Buster in the chat is going on a rant about C9's hiring management. He does have a point though, because it seems that so what he's saying for people that can't read it is that C9 kind of gets trigger happy when they see good prospects, so they'll just kind of pick up everybody and then let the pieces fall where they may. With the Overwatch thing, for example, you had an Overwatch team and then that kind of was falling apart, so you signed this Korean team for your Overwatch League, and then you signed this other European team to be like a contenders team, and then there's this whole mess about who's going to play for what. It does seem a bit on the it does seem like sometimes the hiring management kind of doesn't have restraint, and that kind of hurts just the organization's image. You know, I'm not saying that necessarily what they're doing is bad, because I mean, if I had the money and the power to just snap up everybody and then figure out it later, you know, why not? I want to get the best people possible, and then out of all of the, you know, the little chickens that I hatch, I get the best chickens, and then just put those together. You know, I'm not saying that what Cloud9 doing is necessarily bad. Maybe it is. I don't really know, but it does seem that from what they're doing, it does kind of hurt the image of the organization a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we go back to what we're talking about, Selfie, maybe they're picking up all these teams because now they have like 3 teams, they get to pick and choose the Cloud9, and then they have like 2 teams that like other people want to get interested in Overwatch. So I think like the goal is like, oh well, we have a good team, you want to buy out their contracts, but at the same point, it seems like esports like kind of isn't that kind of thing yet, where you're like buying and selling people, teams, contracts. Like it, in theory, yeah, it makes good sense. Like you will at least have a good team because you have all of these prospective ones, but in practice, it just seems like we're not there yet, and it does kind of hurt Cloud9, because if we made a new team and Cloud9 wants to hire us, well, maybe now I think twice about it, because who's to say they're not just going to dump us in 3 months when they pick up, you know, some Koreans instead.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was going to say something else. But yeah, that's a good point. I think that it might be that Cloud9 gets very ambitious, and they're getting a bit too ahead of themselves. You know, they're trying to play it like a big traditional sports organization, when the space that they're in doesn't accommodate that yet. And so when they try to do things that, you know, these other, like, you know, basketball and football teams do, and they run into problems, it kind of hurts them a bit. But I think ultimately they can use the thing with Overwatch and maybe this thing with Selfie as maybe just like a learning experience, and, you know, just kind of think a bit more about who you're hiring and why, or maybe, you know, just be a bit more transparent about, you know, what you're doing. I don't know. It's kind of difficult from like a business perspective and all that, you know. I know that for the Laser Kittens thing, they were told from the get-go that there was no guarantee that they would be on the Overwatch League. I think that maybe our NA players maybe had some, you know, inkling that they might. It's a whole messy thing, but I think at the end of the day, they can just use this as like a learning experience and just say, okay, you know, what can we draw from this? What can we learn from this? And then, you know, move on.
Yeah, kind of take a breather, see what all is happening. Make, you know, you make 1 or 2 smart investments rather than make, you know, 4 good investments and 1 better investment, and then realize, well, now I, you know, put all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah. But I mean, I think on the whole, if you look at it, you know, Cloud9 is still a very good and smart organization. I mean, for the most part, they treat everyone they sign pretty well. I think they probably treat players that they sign a bit better than other teams. You know, barring a few mishaps that they've had, but, you know, I think that they're a very supportive org, and I think that just a bump in the road. But I also agree with Busker. Adam should definitely be in Overwatch League. The fact that he isn't in Overwatch League is actually pretty shocking. But that's a conversation to be had on the Dogfight, which you can actually catch Monday, January the 8th. We will be returning after our long holiday break. We will be discussing mostly the upcoming Overwatch League season and how the London Spitfire shall handle their opponents, the Florida Mayhem, and the Philadelphia Fusion. So please check that out if you can. It's going to be a fun show. And I think that does it for us today. Pie, do you have any final thoughts on anything that we've discussed?
You know, I'm just... Oh, you're using the wrong PowerPoint. I just saw it on stream. I went and fixed some spelling mistakes on the...
No one cares about spelling.
But you're showing it to everyone. Oh my god. Now all the people listening to the podcast are gonna know.
I'm a flawed human being. I have to embrace it.
You know what? It's 2018. We got a new league series. We got a bunch of new teams. We got the new Overwatch League. We got a CSGO team that's starting to mesh. We got the GOAT. We got Ally. I'm excited for a brand new year of Cloud9 gaming.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think that there's a lot of things ahead of us that I can really look forward to. Maybe we even sign some new teams. I'm not sure how, like, you know, the Halo scene, for example, or something is panning out, but maybe we'll see us enter into some new games. Maybe we'll see us, you know, get a championship or something. Who knows? That's part of the journey, but I'm really looking forward to it. 2018, I think, is going to be really great for Cloud9. But the teams that we have and the people on the teams, I think our teams just look solid. 2017 was a good year for Cloud9, but I think we can do better, and I think 2018 is going to be where we try to do better. But I think that's it for us today. Pi, thanks for joining me. And thank you,
Of course,
listeners at home, for listening to the 66th episode of Bodied. Feel free to tweet questions and feedback to us at C9Bodied or email us at bodiedfancast@gmail.com. Let me put that for the stream. There you go. Questions might be answered on the next podcast, or myself, most likely. Or somebody will probably get to you through Twitter. We're very active on Twitter. If you ever at us, most of the time I'll chat back at you and, you know, maybe have a little back and forth. Who knows? But
you know, if you're
thanks for listening.
If you're shy of the public forum, you can always slide into those DMs. That's
yeah,
an
slide
option.
into those DMs. I'm a lonely man. I need human interaction. So, anyway, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Alright, goodbye. Happy New Year.